Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to get into the secret world of our cats. We all think we know them so well, right? But what if I told you that some of our best intentions are, well, they're getting completely lost in translation? Let's figure out this hidden language together. I mean, really think about it. You see them every single day. You feed them, you give them pets, but how well do you actually know what's going on inside that furry little head? What are they trying to tell you? You might be surprised to find out it's a lot less than you think.
Okay, so let's start with the cat we think we know. A lot of the time, we see them through this super simple lens, kind of like a character in a cartoon. And hey, it's easy, it's entertaining, but it's not even close to the whole story. We imagine this voice, right? A voice from a story about a cat. And its goal is just so simple and clear. It's driven by one thing and one thing only, that rumbling in its tummy, hunger.
And this just hammers the point home, doesn't it? The whole narrative is about this one primal need. We're shown this creature of just basic instincts, and honestly, it's a comfortable, kind of funny way to look at them. And that's how we get this idea of the cartoon cat stuck in our heads. This simple, one-dimensional animal whose entire universe just spins around its food bowl. It's easy to get, for sure, but it is also dangerously incomplete. And that's the whole point. It's just a story. The reality of what your cat is feeling, what they're desperately trying to communicate, it's so much quieter. It's way more subtle. And when we only listen for the loud, obvious stuff, we're missing pretty much everything. So that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. A lot of our most common, most well-intentioned acts of love can actually have some pretty negative impacts. Let's dig into what we might be doing wrong without even having a clue. All right, let's kick things off with the first big mistake a lot of us make. This one happens a lot when the weather gets colder, and it starts as an act of love that can seriously backfire. Okay, now look at this, because this is where our good intentions and reality just completely collide. We think, oh, it's cold, I'll give them a little extra to keep them warm and happy. But here's the thing. In the winter, they're moving less, so those extra calories go straight to weight gain, which puts a huge strain on their joints, their heart. It can even cause painful inflammation. So the fix isn't about giving more love. It's about being smarter. Keep those portions consistent. Here's a great tip. Try warming up their wet food a little bit. It actually makes them feel more satisfied and helps with hydration. And, just be mindful of the treats. Every single calorie counts. Okay, let's jump to mistake number 2. This one is all about activity, or more accurately, the lack of it. And this is another classic case where we see one thing, but something totally different is actually going on. We see them sleeping all day and we think, oh, look at them, all cozy and getting their rest. But for a lot of cats, especially indoor cats, that's not rest, that's boredom. When their natural hunting instincts aren't being used, their stress hormones can actually go up, and that can lead to them being irritable or even destructive. And check out how simple the fix is. You don't need to dedicate hours to this. We're talking 10 minutes of real, focused playtime twice a day. It can totally change their whole mindset. Get a feather wand, a little toy mouse, and this part is absolutely crucial. Always let them catch it at the end. That win gives them this amazing dopamine release that keeps them happy and chilled out. This brings us to what might be the most important topic of all, and definitely the hardest to see. It's about how our cats tell us when something is really, really wrong. And it's almost never a loud cry for help. Usually, it's just silence. And it all comes down to this one powerful concept, the masking instinct. See, in the wild, if you show any sign of weakness, you become a target. So cats have evolved over thousands of years to become absolute masters at hiding their pain. They're not going to limp or cry out until it's extreme. They'll just stop doing things. So this is the big question. This is the question that every single cat owner has to start asking. When you see your cat sleeping more, moving a little less, and you just write it off as, oh, it's just winter laziness, are you positive that's all it is? Or could they be quietly screaming at you that something hurts? And this is exactly what you need to be looking for. These are the silent signals. It's that tiny little hesitation before they jump on the couch, that little bit of stiffness right after they wake up from a nap. Maybe they aren't grooming their back as well as they used to, or they suddenly don't want to be petted. These aren't signs of a lazy cat. These are giant red flags for pain. So how do we pull all of this together? Well, it really requires a shift in how we think. We have to go from just being an owner, a person who provides food and a roof, to becoming an interpreter of their very quiet,
very subtle language. Because really, this is what it all boils down to. The single greatest gift you can give your cat, the absolute truest sign of love, isn't an extra treat or a fancy toy. It's your focused, dedicated attention to their quietest signals.
So let's recap this with a new game plan. First, just observe. Watch for the tiny changes in their routine, not the big dramatic stuff. Second, always question laziness. Ask yourself, could there be a physical reason for this? Third, give them that outlet for their inner hunter. And finally, be the one who controls their environment for the better. The air, the sound, their water. Support them in ways they can't ask for. Your cat is talking to you, all day, every day. It's just not in a language made of words. They're using the language of behavior, of habits, of tiny little hesitations. So after all of this, the real question is, what are you going to hear now? What new conversations are you about to have?